Hey everyone, Brian from Three Geeky Dads here. Before we begin tonight's episode, I just want everyone to know that we are now sponsored by Audible. As an IT professional for a school department, I find myself behind the wheel of my car traveling between schools almost all day long, and that's where Audible comes in. Right now, I'm enjoying listening to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry. It's so enjoyable to hear this hilarious audiobook read by a proper British comic actor. And that's just scratching the surface. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word content, with everything from bestsellers, celebrity memoirs, and news to podcasts. Yes, if you're into podcasts, and you're listening to us right now, so we can assume you do, Audible has got you covered. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial today. That's www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial. You'll get 1 credit, 2 credits if you're already an Amazon Prime member. That's good for any premium selection titles you like, and they're yours to keep. You also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals. Listen all you want. No credits needed. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/3GD. $14.95 a month after your 30-day trial. Cancel at any time. Audible. Stay informed, connected, and inspired. And now, on with the show.
Warning, incoming dad joke. Warning, incoming dad joke.
Hey guys, you know why I like horror movies that take place at camps with big slashers and campers?
No, why?
Because they're intense.
It's true, they are. They are.
Extremely intense.
Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Tune into your favorite podcast for the Halloween episode. Don't miss it. And don't forget to put on your headphones. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
Nice sweet music to my ears.
God, I missed that. Yeah.
Hold on.
What did you do?
Tom Atkins. There we go.
You did Tom Atkins.
It was the mask. Stop it! All right, hold on.
It's what our listeners are yelling right now at the podcast.
Probably.
Stop
Get it
touching your
together.
microphone.
God, you got a week off. Look at you. Man, you had one job. Hello and welcome to another thrilling episode of Three Geeky Dads, the show that's a cut above the rest and a gash below the best.
I get it.
You like that?
Yeah.
You made that up. I am Mark, and with me, as always, are 1 and 2 to my Freddy's coming for you.
Derek.
And Brian.
And with us, as always, to say F you to math and the accuracy to the show title, the man who puts the dream in our dream warriors, Tito.
Oh.
You like that? What's up, gentlemen? It's been a week.
Yeah.
How are
It's
you?
been a while.
Good to be back. We are in the Halloween season.
We are.
We're in
It's
October.
Spooky.
Yeah. So
It's spooky down here.
we're a little late. We apologize. Life happened, and so we're coming into
Some of
the
us got
Halloween.
sick.
Some of us got sick. Yeah, making out with homeless people. That's going to happen, Brian. I warned you about that. But
He offered me candy.
guys gearing up for Halloween.
Speaking of offering me candy.
Tito's just disgusted.
Yeah. Totally geared up.
How's everyone doing? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Wild.
What's new? Anything?
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So, Derek, you're excited, right?
I
'Cause
am.
Where are we going?
We're going to Comic-Con
Hells yeah!
Which one?
in New York City.
New York City!
He is
Get a
so-
rope.
It's gonna be good.
That's right. We're gonna have a great time. We're
Taking
gonna
the
go
train.
to New York. We're gonna walk
Gonna
around
be
New
Penn
York.
Station and Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden. Do you go there
We're
often?
gonna go along the Hudson.
You talk funny, Nash.
Hudson
Where you
River
from?
line. Yeah.
Lots of
We're
different
near
places.
what's the tunnel there? That's
I'm not
like
going
right
to
next
the. No, we ain't going to the
convention
Hudson.
center.
Lincoln?
Not
Is
alive.
the Lincoln Tunnel? Yeah.
Yeah.
That takes you to Jersey.
That's right.
You want to go to Jersey?
Or the North Pole.
Why are we going to
Or
Jersey?
the North Pole. That's true.
Past the swirly, swirly gumdrops.
To the Lincoln Tunnel. Remember, guys, when we're there, if we see gum on the ground, it's not free candy.
It's not free candy. Don't eat it.
Sound
Congratulations,
advice.
you
Sound
did it! The world's best cup of coffee.
Oh, we got to check out Ray's Pizza.
Ray's Pizza, the
Famous
original.
Rays or original Rays?
There's about 8 of them, but
Famous original Rays
The originals.
or original famous
They
Rays?
changed our name back to the original.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's going
a
on.
bunch
Yeah,
of
we're
wankers.
very
What a bunch of
psyched.
wankers.
We're very excited. I
Super
can't.
psyched.
I
First
can't
time.
wait.
First time, long time.
First time, long time.
Derek has everything all planned out.
He map
all
quested his entire
mapped out. He's so excited.
I've never seen anybody do a map quest for the inside of an arena before.
Yeah, I want to
So
know where the
good.
booths are, you know?
That's true.
I just want to see you standing there with all those pieces of paper, and then somebody bumps you, and then it's flying into the air, and you're just like, no!
like Patrick Warburton and Worf.
Oh, Michael Dorn and
and
Ted
Michael
too.
Dorn and Ted too.
Yeah,
Hey, floor comes up pretty fast, nerd.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Where are my papers?
If you're doing that, can I turn to you and say, Jimmy, put that away. We'll look like tourists.
Yes.
Just to quote Batman.
That way you look like a
Oh,
tourist.
sweet, awesome. Okay, good small talk, everybody. So yeah, stay tuned because by our next in our next episode, we'll have gone to Comic-Con and we'll have lots to say, I'm sure. But tonight we are kicking off the most joyous of months, October, as we head to that glorious time known as Halloween, a time when the dads get a little spooky, ooky, and kooky as we talk all things that go bump in the night. This Halloween month, our picks are going to be centered around the slasher genre, with movies ripe with murder, death, kill, all for the sake of quality entertainment. Tonight, we're launching this murderous month with a roundtable discussion about the slasher genre itself, what we like, don't like, and also how this genre, much like the very killers it harbors, never seems to truly die and just keeps coming back for more. But before we dive into a world of knives, masks, chainsaws, and razor claws, our own killer of culinary cacophony, Brian,
Hello.
has a delicious appetizer to start us off.
Yes, Mark. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome, Brian.
Ah, sneak surprise.
What's the surprise?
Tonight, we geeky dads are going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the gory things that make a slasher movie a slasher movie. But before we get into the red meat of the subject, we thought it would be fun to talk about some of the slasher movie tropes we like and some of the slasher movie tropes that we can definitely do without. I forgot whose turn is it to start. Is it Tito this
I think
time?
it's Tito's.
I think it's
Is
Tito.
it me?
It's
Tito.
you.
It's funny. I completely changed my mind today. I had one for both, and I was like, nope.
There are a lot to choose from.
The one that I like is, sex, drugs, and rock and roll are going to kill you, man. I think it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of odd that a genre built on like the people who love horror are so, what's the word I'm trying to think of?
There's many words. to
Counterculture.
describe.
There's
Yeah,
counterculture, and kind of like F you to like rules and hierarchy and your parents and all that shit. And these movies are kind of designed as these cautionary tales for kids to like get your shit together.
Yeah. Stop fucking.
Yeah, stop having sex, stop doing drugs,
Yep.
stop drinking alcohol, pay attention to what's going on in your life. It's weird. It's weird, but somehow it's fun, and I enjoy it.
They're morality tales,
They're morality
If you
tales.
think about it.
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And this is the genre that the parents the parent groups. You know,
I know, they hate-
religious groups.
they always
they have
protest
tried.
and-
They have tried to stop the genre.
because they don't even know.
Right. They've never seen one.
Right.
And yet, you know, they'll hear a critic come down on it, and right away they'll think, well, this is going to destroy my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is funny because the parents in these movies are always really, really clueless. So they're like morality tales.
Right.
Now, do you?
Also pretty
Well,
interesting.
we'll get to it when we get
Yeah,
to the
let's
things
get
you
to it.
like.
Later.
I'm jumping ahead.
Jumping ahead. Jumping the shark over here. Take it easy.
My turn. I like the POV shots. I'm always a fan of
that's
the
a good
POV.
one.
That trope.
Shit.
Every killer, I think, has a POV shot at one point, except I'm not sure if Freddy does.
I was going to say the same thing.
Now that I think about it, let me know out there, horror hounds, because I can't remember
Pinhead?
a POV shot in Hellraiser Hellraiser 2 or Nightmare on Elm Street. But a lot of your classic slashers do have a POV shot at one point, and a lot of people thank Halloween for that, you know. But it was actually Black Christmas that came out before it that, according to
Bob
Joe
Clark.
Briggs, was the one who first gave us that POV shot.
Suck it, Carpenter.
Yeah, John. So 225 and autograph my ass.
You overpriced.
Yeah, come on, man. Expensive friend of the show, John Carpenter.
Expensive things.
So that is a trope I absolutely love. I never get tired of seeing it. The POV shot is always fun to watch.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
My favorite trope is the final girl. I love the survivors.
I was thinking of that one. Good one.
Especially one who's connected to the killer. Like, I like it when I think that's why with the Halloween series, I love everybody knows I love the Halloween series. I love the idea of her being his sister. I love that there is like that connection. Like, I think that's I dig that, and turning around on the killer in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I dig that.
Yeah.
And female empowerment.
You gotta agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Female empowerment.
well, like, and it is mostly it's girls, but I feel like
You said final girl.
Yeah.
I know, no, and that's
The final boy isn't really a trope.
No, I know, and that's what I mean. But I kind of wonder if they should, if like
Final
Bruce
person?
Campbell should be considered a final girl, even though he's not a girl,
Oh, to start the series for sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's
He survives. He
that whole
beats
series.
it.
It's him versus the Evil Dead.
Yeah. He's
You know?
one of the few. Jesse from Freddy.
Yeah.
Well, they call him
Freddy's
they,
Revenge.
they call him a scream queen.
Scream
And,
Queen.
a final girl. He was on the Wikipedia page for,
Okay.
for Final
Fair
Girls.
enough.
I tried to bone up.
No pun intended.
Derek's favorite, Tommy Jarvis, is the final.
Oh, jeez.
Tommy
final-
Jarvis. Yeah,
Final
for
Feldman,
sure.
right there. You said that.
Final Feldman. That's a good one.
There is a couple of them.
Do we miss his show?
We may have.
He was
Did we,
playing,
though?
he was playing in New
I think
Hampshire.
I drove past it on the way here.
It's right outside.
It's right there.
Yeah.
He followed Tito home.
Yeah, he's up at the Josie's Ice Cream parking lot.
It was. He was kicking his feet like Michael Jackson and everything. It was awesome.
What did the ticket price go down to now?
I waved. I just threw,
you waved.
threw the change right at him. I was
It's
like,
25
yeah,
cents.
here you go, buddy.
Get a job, you bum.
Yeah, go shine your leather jacket. Here you go. Throw some cornies right at him. They're nice and pristine.
Not that pristine.
Pristine. Beautiful.
Brian?
How about you, Brian? What
right.
do you got?
So my like is the supposed dead killer sitting up at the end and either killing again
great
or
Lord.
disappearing altogether. But we shouldn't be upset because we wouldn't get sequels featuring our favorite slashers if this didn't happen. So
Agreed.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. Yeah.
So you're not talking about like the one final scare. You're talking about like
no, they
Being
turn around and the
alive
killer's
in the
body is gone, or
Right.
he sits up in the background when they think that
Yeah.
they've killed him, and
Hit him
Close
with a
up of the
card.
eye and it opens.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
a hand
Yeah.
moves.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great too.
yeah,
that's a good
because
one.
you know
Jason walks out of the water
Yeah.
holding Freddy's head.
Oh, fuck off.
That's awesome.
I was prepared.
Yeah, that's
I
one of
was
the best
prepared
final
for that.
scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in
fuck
a
off.
film.
But yeah.
I can't wait to talk about this movie the entire
can't-
episode. It's a slasher, right?
It is. I mean, you have
Qualifies.
You have the right. You
It
have the right.
qualifies.
No matter
It's
how
terrible.
wrong you are, you
He does
have the right.
karate. He does
What's
karate.
The greatest slasher
okay,
mashup
what
ever
is
made.
what is the trope we do not like or we hate? Or that we hate.
I had another one. I wonder if somebody else has this one, but I'm gonna go for it. The black guy dies.
I don't have that
Um,
one.
Not so
I didn't
much
have that
anymore.
one either.
No.
So
No,
not
but
so-
it's
Yeah.
comically known.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they reference it in
blackening.
lots of movies. Yeah.
And a lot of
true.
movies.
Yeah, like
yeah.
like Scary Movie even, you know, it's like, you know,
Right.
they
Which
bring
kind
it
of
up.
turns it on its head.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
always liked about that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been some, black heroes in films. Either that they made it to the end, maybe they died in the next film immediately, or they died at the end, even though they saved the day.
No, that's Kincaid. That's the most
yeah.
criminal one, right?
Or
there.
even like, I didn't know this. I've actually never seen this film, Night of the Living Dead. I don't like black and white movies. I didn't know that Ben died at the end,
Yeah.
and he was killed by
White
the
people.
town goer
Yeah.
at the time
Yeah.
because
It
they
was
thought he was a zombie. And I was like, wow,
yeah.
how profound is that? But yeah, just and I think it's more based out of like the lack of roles for black people in film. So it's like if you're not gonna get cast as the lead in most instances. You're probably just gonna die. Right. And there are so few roles for like a black person in a film, especially during like the 80s and
Yeah.
70s, 60s.
Yeah.
That you were just gonna die, and that's definitely changed, and it's
Right.
gotten a lot better,
Yeah.
especially with who's making movies. and
Right.
how they're
There are a
making
lot
them
of
now.
really good black filmmakers that are
Right,
making
who are making
horror for
those
black
movies.
people.
Yeah.
and even
black
some of the ones we
actors.
like Tales from the Hood is a good fun movie with entirely for the majority of the
Yeah.
film, black
Yeah.
cast.
Pretty much
Yep.
everybody dies
Right.
in that movie.
Yeah.
Right, or even like what's that Tales from the Crypt? Jada Pinkett Smith.
Or Get Out. Get Out.
Get
Anything
Out.
by Keegan Michael,
Right.
not Jordan Peele. I mean.
Jordan Peele. But you have like Eric Dickerson making that film, so he can like consciously make that. Wes Craven did some
Ernest,
of that stuff
Ernest,
too.
Ernest
Ernest. What did I say?
You said Eric.
Eric. Ernest.
I couldn't let you
Dickerson.
get away
Excuse
with
me.
that.
No, I
Ernest
appreciate
Scared Stiff?
Please. Ernest Ernest Dickerson.
Very underrated filmmaker, by the way. I'm gonna go on.
Oh, great! And he
Love that
fucking shot like all of fucking Spike Lee's movies. He was like DP on just
yeah?
about every Spike Lee movie he ever made.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that was always one that
DP.
comically.
Don't
yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Sorry.
Do
You
it.
save that for Saturday night, buddy.
I'm not sharing a bed with him.
We're going home
yeah,
Saturday,
yeah.
whether Derek comes with us or not.
Phrasing.
Oh, it's all in the timing.
Yeah, right.
It's it's one that always kind of bothered me, or it became comical and then kind of sad at a certain point, or sad then comical.
Yeah.
But
But it's
obviously
dying
changed.
off.
It's for sure.
Mine is, and this is more common with post-Scream slasher films, really. And it's hammy acting once the killer is revealed. So whenever the mask is off and you find out who the killer is, they could be the chillest, most awesome actor. Once they're revealed to be the killer, it's just all hammy, cheesy,
They're like so maniacal,
over
and just
the
like,
top.
Yeah.
The Scream series
Cartoonish.
is wicked
Oh,
bad
that's
like that.
funny.
Like
Yeah,
every
yeah,
time the mask
Scream
comes off, it's
series does it. Urban Legend fucking did it.
Wild-eyed.
Even Sleepy Hollow, which we're going to talk about,
Yeah.
it has that. I have that problem with the end of Sleepy Hollow. Like these guys.
the goose.
Yeah, exactly. Ugh. It's just something about it. Once they're revealed to be the bad guy, they feel they have to play it like a fucking Hanna-Barbera villain, and they're
Yeah,
all over
like
the
a Bond
place.
villain
Yeah,
or-
and it just gets to me. And it's these long-ass monologues that they have where all I can hear is Seth Green and Austin Powers. I have a gun. Why don't you just shoot them? So that's when I can't get past. And again,
it, Scott?
yeah. That is again. That is post Scream. That's stuff that comes later on. You didn't really have that in the earlier slasher stuff, but that's been a trope. That's
Well, I feel like even
Annoyed
like,
me.
like Sleepaway Camp, when like you get the big reveal,
Yeah.
and her face is just
Oh, the
like,
face. Yeah, the
Yeah.
look
and
on
you're
her
like,
face.
what the fuck? That's not necessary.
that's
Your
no one-
dick is enough.
No one's
We don't
thinking
need
of the face. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
The
It's
dick
a
is
very
yeah,
scary
that
looking
face is just like, oh,
Yeah.
terrifying.
The worst is Rebecca Gayheart in
yeah.
Urban Legend. Like she goes all out scenery
yeah.
chewing, like all out, and it's just shut up already. It's been 20 minutes.
Well,
we'll have
especially-
landed by the time you got it right.
Well, especially with like the whole monologue thing, it's because they like a lot of times it's a complete curveball. Like there was no hints dropped that it was this person throughout the whole movie, and it's really just surprise, we got you, it's this person. And so they have these big monologues to explain all this like backstory of why it's
plot
them.
exposition,
Like,
backstory.
The
right,
audience didn't know any of this, but this is why. This is why this person's the killer. It's like you maybe drop some hints throughout. And
Yeah, the whole mother explaining about Freddy Krueger. You know, we all killed him back 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's just what we did back then.
Yeah. There was no internet.
it's a different time.
That I like though. I like that scene in Nightmare on Elm Street though. That's different. That's moving the story.
But it's still
forward.
stopping
This is
for
at the end.
exposition.
Right.
You know, you're putting the
But
brakes
it's done
on it
in a
to
very
tell
nice
Nancy
way.
the story.
It's delivered beautiful.
But rather than like throw in a newspaper clipping that Nancy stumbles across,
Right.
or
Right. Yeah.
or like some type of letter, or like instead you're just gonna have a character explain everything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. They should have shown it, and they did in the pilot episode of Freddy's Nightmares. They actually show the parents chasing Freddy.
Oh,
to
that
the,
TV show.
to the
Oh,
boiler room.
no way.
And, yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, they did in the remake too.
right,
showed-
and that's
Oh,
all that
yeah,
they
yeah,
did.
The one with
Yeah.
what's the guy's name?
Jackie Earl
Jackie
Haley.
Jackie Earl Haley.
Rorschach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Check, yeah.
Ah, that was awful. All right.
I thought it was delightful.
Of course you would.
He was Kelly from Bad News Bears.
Yeah, yeah. Love that movie. Back in
Moochie from
training.
Breaking Away.
too.
Anybody see
Back in
Breaking
training.
Away?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was a cutter.
Christopher. He was a cutter.
Yep.
Moochie, something like that.
Something like that.
Derek,
yeah.
what's a trope you love?
Daniel Stern was in that one.
I hate when they don't deliver on jump scares. Like when you do several fake jump scares where like someone's in cabinets in a kitchen and you think she's gonna close this cabinet and there's gonna be someone behind her. No, okay, all right. And then they open up the refrigerator and okay, this time they'll get nope. And then you think okay, well, or eventually, they're building up to it and then they don't. And I'm like, fuck you.
You don't like the misleading jump scare.
I want the jump
want
scare.
you-
Actually, this one is mine as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
interesting.
Right?
Yeah, that
Yep.
is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I got to agree with you. I mean, it was kind of cool when they did it in the first Scream because they were playing on that trope of a jump scare, so they would mislead you, but that was kind of part of the gimmick
Right.
back then, and it
There's
was
like a
new.
5-minute scene in the Scream 5, I think, where the kid keeps opening up the fridge, opening up the
Right.
cabinets,
Yeah.
opening-
Right.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
Yeah,
What the fuck is going on?
but they're doing it
I could be,
intentionally. right.
feeling like very annoyed by that.
Yeah.
Like, I would just scare me already.
Right.
That's what you just want.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I got things to do.
Don't worry.
Absolutely.
Saturday night. Don't
Come
worry.
on.
Yeah.
Saturday night.
No, mine is
Easy
the
to be
exact.
scared out of your mind.
Mine's the exact same thing as Derek. And I've got like, some people claim that they can trace this horror movie trope all the way back to 1941's Cat People. When the main character is, hurriedly scurrying down the dark city street, convinced that she's being stalked by something supernatural and or sinister. But the tension is suddenly broken by the sound and sudden appearance of a city bus.
Which
And
makes you jump.
It does make you jump.
Yeah.
And this scare is now known as the Luton Bus, after the producer Val Luton. And it worked back then because audience weren't used to that trope.
Yeah.
But now it's just so overused as a concept. And today's audiences, however, are like sick and tired, like Derek said.
Right.
The main character opening a door or a closet, expecting to find the masked killer behind the closed door, only to find total darkness while the tense music crescendos, and then there's nothing. And don't even get me started on the cat suddenly jumping into frame with a loud meow while the heroes are searching the house for a killer.
Into their arms.
Yeah, exactly.
Whiskers. What are you doing here?
Just like horrible bosses.
You ever see Community? You ever see the
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the Halloween episode that they had when they had the Halloween party and they all ate the tainted meat?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So they were kind of like
Like
they were getting
zombies.
sick, but everybody thought they were
zombie
turning into
episode.
zombies.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And what's his name? Glover. Donald
Glover,
Glover,
yeah.
and he might have been with McHale there. They were going through the warehouse looking for a way out, and this cat kept jumping into frame, and all of a sudden Glover goes, "Where's that coming from? Is somebody throwing it?" Because it's exactly what was happening.
Show up. It's
Oh,
true.
it's one of the funniest fucking things ever.
I don't know. I always thought they were kind of. I always thought it was kind of fun.
They can be.
They're building tension. They're
They
trying
can be.
to-
Yeah, it's
Do you
just
like
way
it?
overused.
Do you like it if they
Oh, for sure.
if they mislead you a couple of times, but then there will be
Yeah.
a jump scare?
Well, yeah, eventually that other
there
shoe
just
has to
be
drop.
a
Yeah.
payoff.
Yeah.
That's,
For sure.
yeah, that's the thing. It's the payoff.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be a payoff. If there's all this build up and then nothing.
Nothing.
It's like, what am I watching? Skinamarink?
Yeah.
No.
You know?
I had never seen that movie.
Don't.
Don't
might.
do it.
No,
Don't.
do
No,
do
don't
it.
oh.
Do it.
No,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm gonna watch it on the train.
Mark is rubbing his hands. Do it.
All right. Awesome
right.
appetizers, everybody.
Tropes.
Those are tropes.
Tropes.
Everybody ready
Am
for
I
the main
right?
course?
Trope man.
The main course.
That's just tropes,
The
man.
main course.
The main course.
But your hand is frozen, my child. How does a nice bowl of soup sound to you, huh? Yes, well, I know what it means to be cold and hungry. Yes, and how much it means to have a little kindness from a stranger. Are you ready for your soup? Hold out your bowl, then.
Jason, Michael, Leatherface, and Freddy. It's time to talk slasher films. Is everyone ready? As we look at this genre that's not loved by all, but those that do love it seem to always have a ball. And while some find these movies disturbing and sick, there's more to this genre than your average kill shtick. For killers and madmen have been with us for ages, not only in films, but in theater and pages. There's Jack the Ripper and the Horseman with No Head, the Demon Barber and Mr. Hyde that filled readers with dread. De Grand Guignol Theater with place filled with gore, where rich, well-dressed people always went back for more. Parent groups and critics want this genre to cease, yet somehow Hitchcock's Psycho is called a masterpiece. These movies snubbed by elitists with snobbery not funny, yet these movies always make a shit ton of money. So for those who deplore them, despise them, and moan, go call someone who cares on your own bloody phone, but remember to do so with whispers of a mouse, because those calls are coming from inside the house. It's Halloween time, and slashers are the theme, and for those who don't like it, can go piss up a stream, because for me, personally, this genre is the best, and those who don't agree with me can die like the rest. Right.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's Halloween. Okay. It's Halloween, baby.
Rocky M dropping verses.
That's
It.
right.
And dropping the gauntlet there.
Yeah.
The gauntlet has
Eat
been
your
thrown.
heart out, Jay-Z.
That was very good.
RZA. Eat your heart out,
That guy can't
RZA.
hold
The
it.
RZA.
SCA.
RZA, all those guys.
Oh, that's terrible. Okay, so, guys,
Yeah.
And you know who you
my
are.
first question. My first question for you. Personally, each of you, how much do you like the genre? What do you like about it, and what don't you like about it? You know, are there things that, Derek, start us, or no, actually, Brian, you're Tito, you're
Tito.
supposed to start us off.
Yes.
How invested are you in this genre? And, like, if invested at all, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it?
Historically, I would have not categorized myself as a horror fan.
Yeah.
And I remember when we worked at RHD together having a conversation, and you were like asking me, well, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? And I answered yes to a large majority of the movies that you asked me about. And your response was, well, you're a horror fan. And I thought, oh, I guess I am, because I have. I've seen a large majority of, I think, the movies you're supposed to see. There are a few sprinkled here and there that I've never seen. But yeah, it had to do with my sisters. They were older. Whatever they watched, I watched. If we watched horror movies, it was because of them. It wasn't until I got into the more like Silver Bullet, Monster Squad type movies where I could relate more to the main characters in the film that I started to like them more. Again, being a big comic book superhero guy, I always wanted to relate to the hunter, the hero, the final girl or person, and see them come out at the end. I like that for the most part. Horror movies end with a bit of a happy ending, whether they continue on and that person dies or whatever their story may be. Even throughout all the blood and gore, you'll still get, for the most part, a relatively happy ending, which I do like, because I like a good happy ending.
Phrasing?
Don't we all?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we do.
You tried.
I mean, I don't know. Things that I don't like about the genre, I mean, there's just so fucking much of it sometimes. It's like, what's tough for me is like, there are movies that I fucking love that I'm sure people think are garbage. I feel like there's so much horror sometimes where I almost feel like people are being ironic sometimes when they tell me they like something. I'm not talking about Alligator. I genuinely believe that you like that movie. And Rawhead Rex. But sometimes it's like, oh, have you seen, like, certain movies? I'm just like, no, there's no way you like that. There's no way you like that movie. I can't believe you. I do like the camaraderie of a horror film. They're always better with people around. They're always better in a group. And they're always easier to digest in a group. It was easier for me to watch horror movies growing up with my sisters and friends around than it would have been for me to sit through it by myself. So for sure the camaraderie of horror films, I think, is like rarer in film than I feel like in most other genres of movie when it comes to like pop culture, stuff like that. Even like sci-fi, like you can enjoy that shit. We can all share the story of like the first time we saw Star Wars or something like that. But like with horror, it's usually like I was with like 5 other people and it was cool and the cute girl was there and I thought about talking to her afterwards and I blew it. You know, so those are the things I really enjoy about the genre.
All right, nice. Well said, Tito. Well said.
Thanks.
Derek, how about you?
I haven't always been a horror fan. You got me interested in the first place, and now you've
what I do.
And you've kind of done it again. Like since we started recording this, we do a lot more horror now, and I feel like each year I like horror more and more. Especially after like when going to the Dark Arts Festival, being there, that was like an awesome experience, and like just immersing ourselves in the horror fandom and realizing like what the people are like that are into these things and how cool they are with each other. I always enjoy them. I was always terrified of them as a kid. I couldn't watch things without having nightmares. And thankfully that whole, like Tito said, the camaraderie, like sitting there with a group of guys, like joking and kind of like really all enjoying it together as an experience, as opposed to just like sitting alone and thinking, oh God, what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
Like I think it changes it. And it makes it more fun.
There's safety in numbers.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
Exactly. And I'm pretty desensitized now. Like now I really enjoy trying to find a movie that will scare me. Like now it's the opposite. Now it's like, all right, just this one. Did you guys see the trailer for this? It looks like there's a couple scenes that look like they're really good build-ups. Like I might actually get spooked, and it doesn't always happen. It doesn't happen often at all. But I do like that. I like the effects. I like the final girls. I like the kills. What are they gonna do next? I don't like it so much. Like I think the Saw series is a good example. At least what Saw has going for it is a good overall story. Like they're all interwoven, and it's one big long story about Jigsaw.
Yeah.
But I think with the kills themselves, same thing for Final Destination. It kind of just turns into like, oh, how can we, like, let's come up with some interesting new ways to kill these people.
Yeah.
But
that's fun too, because it's always like this big
Sometimes.
Rube Goldberg contraption.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Final Destination especially because
Final Destination,
they'll tease.
Yes.
Like you'll think that it's gonna be they're gonna bite it some certain way, and then
they flip it.
Yeah. But the stuff that I don't like, the acting is terrible in a lot of these. Like even a good horror movie, you're gonna get actors that like not only.
Well, we brought it up during the
not only just taking the not just the hammy killers, but like everybody, like and the overabundance. Like Tito, you said that you mentioned that. Like I got Shudder and there's a lot of stuff on there that's really cool and there's a lot to choose from. But then it's like
there's a lot of filler too.
Right. And there's there's some that like just that like poorly Like they don't advertise them well enough because they look a certain way. It's like false advertisement. They bait you.
Yeah, and
you're
then
thinking,
switch.
oh, this looks like bitch ass.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna love bitch ass. Bitch ass. Yeah, it's
Say it one more time.
bitch ass. I was excited to see it. The preview looked really cool. I was like, all right, cool. This is gonna be good, and it was not good.
You know what? For me, as I feel like, I think in most cases, like sci-fi fans, they're fairly loyal. Comic fans are loyal. Horror fans are really loyal also, and I think sometimes creators are making a thing with the idea that like, well, horror fans love horror, so
Right.
they're gonna watch horror.
Right.
And maybe this is true of any genre, because it's such a specific. Like horror is so specific.
Yeah.
Like it's not something you could just. I don't know. Everything else seems something like you can just do all the time, anytime.
Right.
Horror never felt like that for me. It's not a all the time, anytime.
Yeah.
I got to be in the mood to want to see some horror. Or like I don't have to be in the mood. I can watch Rocky, like at any point during my week, during my day. Horror, it's got to be like real specific. Like people got to want to watch it, or I got to be like feeling nostalgic or something to that effect. It just
That's interesting. Like I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Because that's the genre I'll watch anytime. But I would have to be in a mood to watch something like Rocky or even something that I love, like Terminator 2. I just can't watch that whenever you know.
Same.
But these are movies,
And
that
that's how
love.
I know I'm a horror fan now because I feel like that. Like if I don't know what to watch, chances are I'm gonna scroll through. I'm gonna find something, find a horror movie to watch.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is because there's so many to choose from. Like there is a lot of options there, but at the same time, it's more. I enjoy them more than most movies, which I like I like a good backstory. I like there's a lot that they have to offer, and when you find like a hidden gem. Like that's a good feeling. Like when you find one of these horror movies that no one's ever heard of, and it is kind of hidden on a streaming service.
Oh, and you can introduce it to people, yeah,
right?
that's always
And then
nice,
and then you watch it, and you're like, oh wow, like a few of the Hulu ones, like they had that series. I forget what they called it, but Hulu had like a series of horror movies that they made specifically for Hulu.
It was,
the Huluween?
No, it was
they
like
they were on holidays.
it like
What the
five-
hell
yeah.
was it? Yeah, I remember. I can't remember the friggin' name of it,
but it was like
I know what you're talking about.
there's a bunch of series of them, and some of them are really, really, really good. And I'm like, oh, you got to see this, like, and people haven't heard of them, or or they don't think to watch them because they're not something that was in the theater or something
Right.
with a big a typical actor or director. So it's cool to find those. But a lot of times there's a lot of it's a lot of love and a lot of disappointment. There's you never know what you're gonna get with horror. But
Yeah, it's true.
I guess I like that about it too, though.
As for me, slashers weren't really my thing until I discovered Freddy Krueger. I remember seeing Halloween. I remember seeing Friday the 13th on HBO as a young teen and liking them. But even then, with that limited exposure, I thought they were very formulaic until I discovered Freddy Krueger in 1984. And that all changed. Now this guy's in my dreams. He can be anything. Nightmares are scary. Dreams are weird. This can go anywhere. And I like that aspect about it. It just wasn't a guy mindlessly chasing, a blonde through the woods. And this was in a nightmare realm, and it was really, really cool.
Yeah, you die in your sleep, you die forever.
That's right.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I like the rules that they made up with that series. But I was never really a horror guy. I was more like the sci-fi nerd. I grew up on Planet of the Apes and Star Trek, and then Star Wars came along. But all through that, like I was being exposed to the Universal monster movies and the Hammer movies. And that is my comfort food. Like now, I'm finding like you guys, that's me for horror. Like I like the classic monsters kind of stuff. Slashers are great, but it's not my favorite genre of horror. like my bedtime is usually like 12:30, 1 o'clock every night. And if it gets to be like 11 o'clock, I'm like, I got like at least an hour and a half before I'm going to go to bed. And I know there's a Hammer movie or a Universal Monster movie that's right in that time frame that'll fill that void before I go to bed. And that's what I watch. You know, that just, it lulls me to sleep almost. Not because they're boring, but because I love them so much, you know. That's my bread and butter. That's my wheelhouse.
Comfort food.
My comfort food. Yeah. Hammer and Universal horror movies are my comfort food.
I got to agree. They are very soothing. And I mean, I love any and all kind of horror. It can be a slasher film, it can be a Hammer film, Universal film. But for comfort, like to feel comfortable, a classic monster movie or a Hammer film, you cannot go wrong.
No.
But if there's stuff I need to do or get done, I get a slasher movie going. That gets
that's
blood
different.
pumping.
That's different. It's a whole other vibe. It's a whole other energy, and I get that. I get that. But late at night, you know, I got an hour and a half before my bedtime. I'm popping on one of those movies. You know.
Yeah. It's interesting because for a while, horror films in general were referred to as the redheaded stepchild of film.
Right. Oh yeah.
And what's funny is the slasher genre is the redheaded stepchild of horror.
That, yeah.
Because I have seen many interviews with many horror directors who have said,
slasher movies are the inbred cousin of the redheaded stepchild.
But I feel like, slasher flicks, like the horror genre owes the slasher flicks for putting horror to the mainstream.
No, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Because the horror movies that are slasher movies are what like really became more popular.
Yeah.
And people were going to the theater to see these things, not just like
because they knew what they were getting.
Right.
You know, they like I said, they're very formulaic. You know, you're going to see, you know, half naked people making out. You know, you're going to see lots of blood. You know, you're going to see clever kills and probably a cool monster chasing them.
Right.
No matter what it is.
Yeah.
Be it Freddy, be it Jason, be it the fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer to you know Ghostface from the Scream movies. It's, you know what you're getting, and I can see why audiences, you know, gravitate towards that.
Well, they're junk food, but I mean that in the best possible way.
Yes.
You know, if monster movies are comfort food, your
Then
junk
this
food
is the junk food.
is the slasher genre.
Yes, the cheaply,
You know?
easily made. You don't have to waste a lot of time on character
Absolutely.
development and story.
Everybody and almost everybody, a lot of famous people have started out in one. Not all of them, but a lot of actors have gotten their start.
Hell yeah.
In a slasher film or porn, either one,
or it went the other way.
or both. Interesting stuff, guys.
It is. I just want to
agree with a lot
know.
of
I
that.
just want to point out that all of our references are coming back to food.
Yeah.
Is it because we didn't eat together tonight? I
Maybe.
don't know.
Maybe. I had a hot dog, so
Ooh, tell us about it.
Yeah.
it was great. I watched the slasher movie while eating it.
You're the only one I know who puts mayonnaise on a hot dog.
Oh,
I don't know why.
I don't put mayonnaise
I'm
on a hot
kidding.
dog.
It was just a gross.
Don't tell people that. There are people listening,
It was
Brian.
just a gross image.
That is
Spread that
disgusting.
rumor. The kids call them glizzies. It's true.
Do they really?
They call them glizzies.
Glizzies. Why not?
what's a glizzy?
It's a hot dog.
Hot dog with
Yeah.
It's just a hot dog.
My kids never.
They just decided to change
Call
what they
them
call
glizzies.
hot dogs.
Yeah, because it looks like you're what's the like the PC term?
Fellatio.
Bingo.
Oh Jesus!
Glizzy.
But-
That's why I always eat my hot dog
That's
corn on the cob
neither
style.
here nor there. Yeah, that's how you might do it. I turn it like it's a typewriter.
I don't know what's just more disturbing, that or the mayonnaise thing. Well, maybe both.
Yeah, put mayonnaise on your hot dog and eat it
I
corn on the
landed
cob
on-
style.
oh,
I would
wow.
puke
You get that
if
all
you
over
did
your
that
face.
in front of me. I would puke.
Talk about a
right on the
glizzy.
table.
Someone get me a hot dog.
Mark just turned his into a glazy.
Mine's a cocktail weenie. Thank
Oh.
you.
Hey,
For a while.
You said cogged.
I sure did. We are now the redheaded stepchild of podcasts with this conversation.
it was bound to happen.
It was.
sooner or
I'm
later.
surprised it hasn't already in 6 years. Okay, so next one. What was your first slasher film?
Mine was Nightmare on Elm Street. I watched it when I was very, very young. Again, my sisters, they ran the show. So I saw that film and it scared the shit out of me. And I never want to see another Nightmare on Elm Street ever again. But I did.
But you did.
Because somebody else controlled the television. And I liked watching television. And as I got older, it got easier to deal with. That's still one of the few film franchises that makes me uncomfortable when I watch it, just
Yeah.
because I can remember
Yeah, it brings back those
yeah,
those weird
being a
memories.
kid and what that was. And And the two scenes that always stood out the most to me, him trying to pull Nancy through the tub, and
Johnny Depp
getting
going through
pulled
the bed.
fucking
the bed.
Yeah.
I don't. When I was growing up, those were the only two scenes that I ever remembered about that movie.
I love the scene of like Freddie coming through the wallpaper over Nancy's bed.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's so great. You see the
Poking
glove
through.
and his
Yeah.
and the contour of his
Well,
face.
who's the girl that ends up on the ceiling?
Amanda
Oh yeah,
Weiss.
Amanda Weiss.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
that's the scene
Oh,
that
I
does it
remember
for
that
Yeah.
too. Yeah, she got thrown around.
Tina, that's right. Is that the scene that you were walking
That's
through?
the one that
Yeah.
I walked. Yeah, my babysitters.
Was that your
was
first
crazy.
slasher film as well, or do you?
Well,
remember
so
seeing
that's
one?
it was the first scene. I saw just that scene, and I also the Hitcher. The scene, I guess I just had bad timing as a kid because I walked through rooms. And
Well, good timing,
Yeah.
depending
Yeah.
on
Jennifer
how you
Jason
look
Leigh
at it.
getting pulled apart,
Spoilers.
and like just the thought of like that, just total, corruption of my mind, and it left me scarred forever. But I saw Halloween, the first Halloween, and I think that's why I like it so much. That's really the first one that I watched straight through. It doesn't really have, it's not gory. It's more suspense and the music. And so I was like, oh, all right. So this is what horror can be too. Like, it doesn't just have to be slashers.
You know what's funny? I didn't see that movie till I was much older.
Right.
And I think that if I had seen it when I was younger, I probably wouldn't have thought it was that good of a movie.
Right.
But watching it older, I'm like, oh, this guy's fucking.
See, I
created an
loved it
entire thing.
immediately, and I was like, all right, I can handle this. This is not, I mean, it's scary, but it's not something that's going to scar me.
Right.
The first one I ever saw in the theater was Scream, though. I never went to the movies to see horror movies, but then like freshman year of high school, Scream came out, and it was just like, oh, like everybody's going to see this. All right, I guess I'll go.
You had to. Almost,
Right.
Yeah.
And
It was a rite of passage.
And on top of it, it was like I was that age. Like I was at that age. These were high school students, and I'm in high school now.
Yeah.
and I'm a big boy. And it was right around the time where that year was when I started hanging out with Mark and the cable and kind of started watching horror movies a lot. So it was just kind of normal.
Yeah, you were their target audience.
It was all clicking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
The next generation was you.
That's right.
Slasher.
I saw it
It
in
really-
high
yeah.
school too. That's
I mean, and it really like that because the '90s just that era, the mid to late '90s is when all the like that Scream opened the floodgates, and then you had it was all teen slasher flicks for like every summer and fall for the next 20 years, really. But like,
Yeah. And then it steadily just
yeah,
declined.
like started
again.
going away,
Right.
But I can, the Urban Legends series, the I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream.
Urban Legends, is that with the Cupid mask?
No, that's Valentine. But that's another one though.
Oh, is it?
Valentine's
With the
Day.
Baby face?
Yeah.
No, the baby
Valentine's?
face is Happy Death Day.
No,
Happy Death Day
the
does do the
baby
baby
face is
face.
Happy Death Day.
Oh, maybe
Cupid,
it's
the
Cupid
Cupid
mask.
face
Valentine.
is Valentine's Day.
Is that the one with David Boreanaz?
Yes,
Yes.
and
Okay.
Denise
Yeah,
Richards.
but
Is
that
it
was a remake.
Valentine
That's a
or
remake.
That's a
Valentine's
remake of the
Day?
original.
No, it's
yeah.
Valentine.
It's Valentine,
Yeah.
right? I saw that once. I don't remember really digging it.
Yeah.
I did like Urban Legend though. There's something really goofy about that one.
Urban Legend's one of my favorites.
Up until the end, when
Yeah.
we
Rebecca
up until
Gayhart's
we
monologue.
find out who the killer is, and the
Right.
last 20 minutes is spent
Well,
with her
that's
talking.
another that's like a resurgence of. You think about like the Lawrence Fishburnes, Kevin Bacon's,
Right.
is it not Rosanna Arquette, Patricia
Patricia
Arquette,
Arquette.
like of the world who got their start in like horror films.
Yeah.
And then this was like that transition where, if you did TV, you didn't do movies. You
Yeah.
did one or the other.
Right.
If you're
Yeah.
making movies, then you're shit out of luck. You're in TV forever.
Yeah.
But you got all these young TV people making
Right.
movies and getting
All
like
the
film
WB.
careers.
Well, it was all,
Before it was the
and those
CW.
were all done by Kevin Williamson too, wasn't
Right.
it?
Oh,
Kevin
yeah,
Williamson
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
the
And so he
go-to
was bringing
guy.
it. Yeah, exactly. Because he worked in TV as well.
Right.
Right.
And
So he
some
was
of-
bringing
and
those
it's
actors
funny,
with
though,
him.
but a lot of them went, but only few went on and passed it. Some of them, when they started growing out of their teens, we have not heard from
Right.
as much.
Oh yeah, but I think there was
But
a
there
point where
is
like
a-
the TV actor who tried to transition into film, if it didn't work out,
Oh,
they
yeah.
were just fucking gone forever.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
pariahs.
Where like a lot of those people, like David Boreanaz, could make that movie and then
Yeah.
just go jump back into
Totally.
television and
Yeah.
be okay.
Yeah.
Or like I think horror again, like we talk about horror being kind of groundbreaking in a lot of the things that they do. It's certainly groundbreaking in that aspect of the transition from TV to film. And
That would be another cool theme to
Successful.
explore
Yeah.
someday is like, television and movie actors. And when did that line blur to when it became okay for them to start jumping?
That's a good one.
And now with streaming being a thing, like it's almost like that line is almost totally wiped away. Exactly.
Yeah. You can't even tell the difference.
No.
Well, and a lot of the TV shows are made like movies.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And the seasons are a lot shorter.
Yep.
And the quality.
Yeah,
The
the
quality
quality
of a
is
television
a hell of a
show
lot
now
better.
can, is rival, if not better, than a lot of movies that
Yeah.
are out there now, which before was never a thing.
No.
Not even in the 90s.
No,
you know.
even because I remember way back when the movie V that spawned the TV show
Right, yep.
V.
Yeah.
I remember them saying like this is almost like movie quality special effects, on TV. And then you go and look at it now, it's like God, that's crap.
It was close.
Yeah, it was close crap.
What was your first?
Halloween. But I honestly, while you were talking, I was thinking that I think I actually saw it on network TV. I think I saw it like cut to ribbons my first time.
Really?
And it was Friday the 13th that I saw on HBO. I know for sure. But I think the first time I saw a slasher movie was network TV, like the ABC movie of the week. Yeah. Probably around this time of year too. Right. They cut Halloween to ribbons and and showed it. Yeah. I think that was my first exposure to it. I mean, I think I had actually seen The Exorcist the same way like years before that.
No kidding.
I think I saw The Exorcist as the movie of the week on network TV way back when. But that's not a slasher movie. So if I'm classifying slashers, I think it was Halloween on network TV.
So that was mine as well, and I didn't see it until I was older because, as I said before, horror, that kind of stuff was not allowed in my house, and the only way I saw this stuff was if I had a buddy that would rent it or had an older brother that could, rent it from a video store, and that actually happened. A buddy of mine and I watched Halloween and The Fly. They got these two movies, which I had not seen before. We watched The Fly first, and it was gross, but it didn't scare me. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
And then I watched Halloween.
Oh, you should see the Cronenberg
right after.
version then.
No.
What's the original, like Vincent Price?
Vincent Price, yeah.
And then I saw, and then we saw Halloween after, and it didn't scare me while I was watching it. I thought, I don't see what the big deal is. It's good, but it's not scary until the very end. Now, when the very end happened, and Jamie Lee, Michael Myers gets shot, Donald Pleasance and Jamie Lee look over, the body's gone, the music's playing, and then they cut to all these shots, and his breathing's getting louder and louder, and then it ends. We shut the movie off. Going to sleep that night, I was terrified.
Yeah.
Because we grew up in Haddonfield. It was a small town. Everybody knew everybody. It looked just like Haddonfield, and Halloween night full of trick-or-treaters, and this was before any of the supernatural stuff or the brother stuff happened. Or no, it did, but I had not seen it yet. So to me, this was just Michael Myers. This was just a guy in a mask that could kill you, and that could have happened. The fact that this setting looked just like my neighborhood, that was what was frightening. And you had said, Derek, it's hard to find a scary movie now, and I agree. We're all desensitized, but I think a good horror movie now is not one that scares you, but one that resonates with you after you see it.
And stays with you.
Yeah.
And there are still some of those movies out there. If you shut them off or you leave the theater and it's with you when you get home or you go to sleep, that's a good horror film.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody's going to go, and drop their popcorn anymore. Because we've gotten
And the whole
so
thing with
used
the
to it.
setting, like that's a good point.
That's our town.
Yeah.
I mean, how
Bridgewater was like the
Bridgewater?
and then like, and I think about like when I was when the '90s stuff started coming out, they like Urban Legend and Scream 2 like taking place at a college.
Yeah.
Like I lived right up the street from Bridgewater State.
Right.
So it was like I'm there. I'm in the thick of it. And
Sarah was going to Stonehill College at the time.
Yeah.
So we had seen Scream 2 and Urban Legend, and a lot of these college-based slasher films look like Stonehill College.
And it does. It hits different.
So atmosphere does help.
It really does.
think.
Right.
And I think that's what's awesome about slasher movies is going all the way back to Psycho. The first of these movies are the films that took place in your backyard. They weren't in castles. They weren't on the moors. They weren't in mad scientist labs. They were in your backyard.
Right.
And I think that's what made them work.
Right.
And I think that a lot of people that hate them or frowned upon them, I just think they weren't ready for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it was always
Because
the
they made
quiet
him
one.
feel funny.
You're not
He
ready.
was always a
Your
good
kids
boy.
are gonna
He
love
was
it.
always
Exactly.
such a quiet
Right.
boy.
Well, not only that, but look what was happening at the time
Right.
with Psycho. Ed
Yeah.
Gein. I mean, this was reality
Yeah,
now.
I know.
And so people are probably like, why do we want to go see more of this?
Mm-hmm.
You know? But they did.
The people that use it as an excuse to cover up their own faults. Right? Like, oh, this is what's fucking your kids up. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you're
Right.
fucking your kids up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not-
Yeah.
This movie's not.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a conversation with them,
Right.
That argument goes all the way back to London After Midnight, the Lost Lon Chaney movie.
Oh yeah.
Which, Brian, you have on your wall,
I
where
do. I
Lon
have the
Chaney is
poster.
essentially playing an actor who dresses up like a vampire to kill people.
Hmm.
And a guy saw the movie and strangled his girlfriend for real and blamed the movie. And they ordered every print destroyed, which is why we cannot see it today.
oh, interesting.
That's the whole reason. Let's get rid of the movie and people won't be
Is that
jerks.
for real?
That's for real.
See, I thought that there were prints available, but they were destroyed in a warehouse fire in the '60s. That's why
Well,
we don't
maybe
have it
one of them
anymore.
did, but I know that they ordered prints of it. Maybe it's Nosferatu.
You're
that
thinking
they
most
ordered.
Nosferatu.
Well, there was definitely
Well, that's because of-
picketing
they-
to
yeah.
get rid of them.
they wanted Nosferatu destroyed because of Florence Stoker.
Stoker,
Mm-hmm.
fuck her. But no, the story I got was they ordered London After Midnight destroyed. So I don't know. Maybe there's like mixtures of both of them.
It could be.
But
They're-
anyway,
they're-
bottom line, we
They're
can't
both
see it anymore.
they're both classic vampire movies,
Yeah.
and both were originally thought to be lost to time, but we
Thank
finally
God
got
Nosferatu
we
wasn't.
finally got a full,
But
full
London After
restoration
Midnight,
of,
you can never see. The
I
closest
know.
you can see is Turner Classic Movie. Got a bunch of still frames and
That's
did a
right.
slideshow presentation.
Oh,
Of it.
interesting.
It's too
yeah,
bad.
and they have the original recording though, don't they?
Oh, you mean
They might have the
track
music
for
though. Yeah.
Oh, somebody could have.
Do they have the
Yeah.
boards with the words on it
Oh yeah, they
the cue
must.
cards?
They had the script.
in between? Each scene?
But anyway, point being that whole fucking the movies made me do it has just been with horror films from the get go.
Yeah,
and
and it's not just horror
Nobody
films.
learns.
They
It's
use
just
the
a
whole
scapegoat.
Yeah,
It's just,
the whole
you know.
satanic panic thing.
Yeah.
If it wasn't horror movies, it was Dungeons and Dragons. If it wasn't Dungeons and Dragons,
heavy metal.
it was heavy metal
Yeah,
music. Exactly.
yeah.
You know,
Anything that's different.
We all need
outside
something
of
to blame.
anything that the kids like.
Right.
Right.
Well, it was the Beatles and Elvis at one point.
Right, exactly.
Rock Around the Clock got heat because
Yeah.
it caused a riot in Germany. Mm-hmm. I mean, you never know what's gonna.
Elvis's pelvis.
Elvis,
That's right.
Elvis the pelvis.
Yeah.
Elvis the pelvis.
Yeah.
Is sick fuck.
Yeah.
I now can do the Kevin Bacon game with him because I watched Viva Las Vegas and Ann Margaret's in it.
Oh,
So I can connect him to Kevin
Oh,
Bacon.
nice.
Boom, like that.
Look at
Ready?
that.
Here we go. Ready?
go ahead.
Okay. Ann Margaret in Viva Las Vegas with Elvis in Viva Las Vegas with Ann Margaret, who's in Grumpy Old Men with Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, who are in JFK with Kevin Bacon.
Oh,
Boom.
Mic drop.
All
So
right, 'cause
Boom.
everybody's in JFK.
4 steps.
everybody is in that fucking movie.
I bet you Ann Margaret's been in something with Kevin Bacon.
You think so? Bean dip?
The sack. Oh, she is a fucking
She
treat.
is. She is. She is in that movie too.
Yeah.
You know, when you were talking about Halloween, I wish that this, and we touched a little bit. I brought it up like Dracula running.
Yeah.
How I don't like it.
Yes.
It's kind of the same thing now. I think I actually really like this. Michael Myers driving. I like it
Yeah.
because it adds a level of realism to it,
Right.
and that has almost to a
Yeah.
completely gone. Even for the movies who want to seem realistic.
Yeah. But when they
They
started
just
having him work for
appear.
Uber, it was a little
Yeah, right.
tough for me to swallow.
Where he's like on the clock.
And he's making those TikTok videos where
Yeah.
he pulls
Come
up,
on,
Give a
man.
5-star review or else.
I want to get home and have a brewski.
pulling up to the light, looking at the car next to him, scaring the
Oh, I've
scaring
seen
the
those.
people.
But then even the more realistic stuff is supernatural in some nature. Like they just appear. Like Ghostface just appears.
Yeah.
right? He doesn't drive a car. I mean, there is
Yeah.
some,
Even
a
though you
level
know
of, like,
later on it's just going to be
creepy
one of the
to
high
it.
school kids that.
Yeah, right. They have been driving a car this whole time.
Or two of them, because that's the
Right.
thing. That's how
Yeah.
they get around.
They've
Is
been
there's more than
carpooling.
one killer. I think Jason is the only one that can teleport. There are those wonderful film theories that I love that claim Jason can teleport because he's a
appears.
deadite.
He does in the video game.
Yeah, see,
in the
of course
Friday
he
the
can.
13th
He's
video
got the
game,
Book of the
that's-
Dead
Oh, he
in
just
his birth
appears.
house. He can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. It makes sense. Like the supernatural aspect, I like to a certain degree because I like supernatural shit. It's fun sometimes. But what I think made Halloween so scary, like you say, is how realistic it could have been. The guy in a mask who was
Right.
driving around your neighborhood looking for something,
Right.
whatever that thing may be. which we've lost. Now I feel like if you make that movie, even in the remakes, you're not really seeing him get around from place to place.
Right.
He's just kind of there.
Well, I think
which is
because
kind of a
people are have made Michael Myers
this supernatural.
even if they try to go back to making him human, he still will be more human.
I mean,
than
they stabbed
human.
him to death and he got back up. And
Yeah.
Of course he did.
everybody, so
Yeah,
it's
that's
Yeah.
called.
He's
We
been
made a
shot,
ton of money off this
stabbed.
movie.
Burned.
Yeah,
Electrocuted.
Yeah.
just like Vigo the Carpathian.
Drowned.
yeah, for sure.
All right,
Really
so
like the buzzing
this
of Rasputin.
so here we this leads me to the next question. Do you prefer slasher films that are more realistic or some with a supernatural component? You kind of made your case, but
So here's the thing: when it comes to Halloween, I wish you did drive a car because I think it's awesome. But as terrified as I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street films growing up, it's still my favorite franchise when it comes to the slasher genre because Robert Englund is such an entertaining person.
He really is.
3 is my all-time favorite, but because it follows that kind of comic book formula that I love. And yeah, that's always been. I like I do like the supernatural stuff. It oddly enough scares me more than the realistic stuff.
that's interesting.
Like Halloween doesn't scare me. The guy like with the knife in my neighborhood because I'll never live in that neighborhood. But Freddy could be anywhere.
That's a good
or those
point.
like
Yeah.
Pinhead could be anywhere.
Yeah. He'll enter your dreams.
Yeah, right. But like, you grew up in Hatfield. I did not. So I couldn't always relate to that stuff.
Right.
As far as like, oh, it could be my hometown. But yeah, the supernatural stuff always got me a little bit more than the realistic stuff,
Nice.
even till today.
How about you, Derek?
I enjoy supernatural stuff, but like more when it's like a ghost story or a haunted house or like something like that.
Or
When
like
it comes to
Insidious stuff or like Conjuring or what are we
not so much that newest stuff. I don't really. I don't dig
Exorcist?
that stuff. But like, I don't know. I like Haunting the House on Haunted Hill.
Okay.
Like I love that movie. I love 13 Ghosts.
Oh, 13 Ghosts. Yeah,
yeah,
Rod
like
Digger's in that movie.
Right.
What about Paranormal Activity?
Paranormal Activity's grown on me, thanks to you. But yeah, I never really could get into Insidious or Sinister or what's the other one? The Conjuring series.
I
Like,
can't do those either.
you
What
know.
about slasher wise?
but like slasher wise, I definitely prefer more realistic. I want someone who I get annoyed when like the killer takes what should be a fatal blow and then gets right back up. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I do and I don't really because like for instance, we were talking about it earlier. See No Evil. It's a movie with Kane from the WWE. He takes some disgusting wounds and pretty much should be dead. And he kind of keeps coming until the very end. But I liked that. But for the most part, like most of the times when I'm watching a movie, like I want it to be some crazy, just fucked up person, because that is scarier to me than a supernatural, because we don't really know if ghosts are real for 100% for sure. But like we know that your neighbor could be a fucking psychopath and you don't know it,
for sure.
or someone might know who you are without you knowing who they are
And stalk you.
Right. I think that is more intense and it's more dread instilling.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, I'm going with Tito. I loved the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I love a little supernatural
No, and that's like
Right.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's one that
because
like,
everybody dreams.
stands apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody dreams, and even with the Pinhead thing, there's a whole, opening the gate to hell. That's always something too. I like that aspect of it, and I like it even in the Conjuring movies. I think that those movies are entertaining, and I'll tell you why. They remind me of, this is going to tie back into Friday the 13th, but the series with the cursed objects.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And that's something I like
Right.
too. You've
Yeah.
got this object that's been cursed, and there's some
How they've kind of
demonic
built a
entity that's
universe.
attached to it. Exactly. And that reminds me of The Conjuring and or vice versa. And I just like the supernatural aspect of it more than just a guy with a knife with a a grudge.
Yeah, I know you like what is it? The Part 9, Friday the 13th.
I do.
I like that movie too, and part of the reason I like it so much is the body hopping. I love that shit.
Is that the one Jason Takes Manhattan?
Nope,
or is that
Jason,
a...
Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh, is 9?
That's a one that
Yeah.
a
ton of
lot
body
of Friday the 13th
Higher up in the
fans
series than I've
hate
seen
that
so
one.
far.
Really? Oh,
They hate
because there's
that
no
one.
Jason. There's just body
Yeah,
hopping.
but I actually dig it because I just think it's a gross, cool movie.
I like that they introduced the who's the guy from 21 Jump Street.
Duke.
Yeah.
Duke.
I
And then
like
do
this
nothing with
idea
him.
again. The guy who's been hunting him his whole life.
Right.
They totally like shit the bed on that whole
They
thing.
did.
But I like
They
that.
did.
whole
Well, they
idea.
actually did that in part 4 too. They had the brother of one of the counselors killed in part 2, and he comes along. Rob, the Jason hunter, comes along and he's hunting Jason, trying to get revenge. And of course, it's a great movie, but they just end up killing Rob at the end. It's really anticlimactic, and I think they did the same thing with Duke as well. I like supernatural stuff. I think the Nightmare on Elm Street movies are awesome, and I will watch them. And I think Jason's awesome.
Well, you like
and
Chucky.
I
right?
love Chucky.
So,
I mean, Chucky's
that's a
just
supernatural
goofy and awesome. But when it comes to like the ones that stay with me after, and I really get like into, are the Halloweens, the Strangers, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, stuff that could happen. And the more the mystery of it, the better.
Right.
And so
you're a big fan of not knowing why.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah. Although I liked the Rob Zombie Halloween too. We know why Michael Myers is an asshole in that one, but it was just a different approach to it. It's like a what if or a Elseworlds tale or something. But I like the mystery behind it, and what's Freddy going anywhere in everybody's dream is an awesome movie concept, and it's great to watch. But odds are he's not going to come after me. Whereas anybody could knock on my door and ask if Tamara's home. And like a knock at the door at friggin' 11 o'clock is more frightening to me than any Jason Voorhees or any Freddy Krueger. All it takes is a knock at the door at 11 o'clock. And that's why movies like that, Stranger, don't try it.
I want to get 2 people to knock at each door. They're both at 11 o'clock.
I'm not worried. You can't open my door. The sliding door is still busted. I'm fine. The killer will get tired. He'll be like, "The fuck this? I'll do the house next door."
You should see Mark. He has to go in through the window every night. It's weird.
It's funny.
He's so graceful.
Funny. I am. It's like when the killer whales hop onto the block of ice or whatever the hell they're on in the SeaWorld show. That's me trying to get through the window. I've had to do that before. It's not pleasant. It's like Winnie the Pooh and the fucking honey tree.
Donald Pleasance?
Yes, Donald Pleasance.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sarah's trying to get you in with a fish.
No, she's not home. That's probably why I'm going through the window.
Yeah.
Oh, forgot my keys.
Yeah,
I
she's
know
like,
we
"Stop
left
coming
one
through the
window open.
I'll just open the door for you."
Meanwhile, the neighbors are like, "What the hell? I thought Chris Farley was dead. What's he doing through the window?" Anyway, yeah, good, awesome, good answers, guys. This is fun. I really did not know where we all stood with slasher movies.
Mark is learning a lot
I'm
tonight.
learning a lot about all you guys, and
Good stuff.
good,
Stuff.
yeah.
Cool stuff.
So, what a favorite kind of kill in a slasher film? What that you have seen? You've seen a couple. I've shown you a few, and you do find some kills. Some of them are iconic and have only been like done once or twice, and some are your standard kind of kills. Do you have any? And if so, what's
I gotta
one?
go first.
You do. You want
You
to?
don't have to. Do you want me to go
Want to
first?
circle
You got
back? All
something?
right, Brian.
I got a few of them, and I'm not picking any specific
Go
one in
for
general
it.
because there are so many kills.
There are no rules,
But
Brian.
I like the surprise kill where somebody gets like stabbed from behind. Like I'm specifically thinking of like the Kevin Bacon like in the bed with the arrow
the
comes up
arrow.
through his neck.
Yeah.
Right through his throat, and he doesn't know what's going on until it's too late. But then I also like the kill where like the protagonist is face to face with the killer, and all of a sudden they get that stab in the stomach, and you see them jolt, and then they look down, and they're like gushing blood and entrails, and both kills work.
Yeah.
I love them both.
Awesome.
Yeah. And the cleverer the kill, the better.
Yeah.
But
Which
I
is
could
what
go
makes
either way.
these
The surprise
movies great.
kill or the face-to-face kill, it's all good.
Cool. How about you, Derek?
I mean, I like it when they get invented, like, using different things.
Yeah.
but Nothing hits like a knife. Stabbing.
Well, nothing hits like a bat.
Right.
A knife, nothing cuts like a knife.
Well, you
I,
could hit somebody with a knife.
Brian Adams said that.
I think it just. Well, it cuts like a knife. going back to the reality of it, the realism, and just the idea that, especially when it's like well acted, when you get an actor or an actress who really is selling it, like you feel they just got stabbed.
Yeah.
And you watch like,
and you almost feel like you're getting stabbed with them sometimes.
Right.
Like it takes your breath away.
And even more so when it lasts, when it's not like a quick kill. Like
it's a slow,
they're dying.
Yeah.
Like they're not
but
just
not hamming it up dying
being
either,
killed.
like by touching every piece of furniture as they
Right.
stumble around the room.
No,
like,
no,
"Oh,
but like,
ooh."
and really, like I said, it's the acting, it's the look on their face and the movements, and they know that they're gonna die.
Yeah.
And it's slow, and it's not happening yet, and
Yeah.
maybe the killer's gonna do some more
Yeah.
damage to them, but
Or the killer's just watching them die because he just wants to see them die.
they are alive when they start to eat. Like that,
It doesn't
just
sound
that
very
type of thing.
scary.
A big turkey.
Yeah, so I think that's those are my favorite. I like a hook or a.
They described him as a monster, 6.5 feet tall, 260 pounds, with one horrible distinguishing feature: a sharpened stainless steel hook where his right hand used to be.
Listen, that's a bullshit story.
No, you guys, it's true. I heard it before. Yeah. I heard it was on a beach. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I heard it happened in a park. Oh, I heard it, but the guy was missing a foot.
How could the guy have a hook on his foot?
Well, no, and more so in not so much. I know what you did last summer, but like in Texas Chainsaw, like when he would put people
putting her on the meat hook.
Hang
Right.
people.
That's
Hang
a good
people.
one too.
Yeah.
And the
Or the-
second, I know what you do. Mackay Pfeiffer gets hooked
Right.
from the ceiling and pulled up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
or like
Look at that.
the hooks and chains in Hellraiser, like that type of
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Jesus.
It just-
And that's another
Yeah,
one where
just
like
ripping the flesh
Hellraiser,
off.
they're alive
Yeah.
while all that stuff's happening, to them.
Yeah.
And so just that
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
is rough.
But it's supposed to be pleasurable. Cenobites just don't know.
right.
I guess I like.
Well, they know it's all a matter of personal taste.
That's it.
How about you, Tito?
I think I prefer, I guess, for my horror to inject some fun into it. So I tend to like something a little bit more absurd, just because it takes kind of the scare out of it.
A little bit of the edge off.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of the edge off. Like I think he could have beat Jason.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Julius gets his head
yeah.
punched off. I absolutely love that scene, and I like that he fights right up until his head gets punched off. I like that how tired he is.
He rope-a-dopes him.
I love how tired he is at the end, and
Yeah.
just gets his head punched off. But stuff like that is just like surprising and just fun.
Yeah.
I like the fun. I like to take the edge off. I don't mind like
A bit of a surprise.
nothing like even absurd. Like Johnny Depp through the bed is like absurd, but it's still
Yeah.
like holy shit. I feel like Johnny Depp's mom every time I watch that fucking scene. She's like, what the fuck?
Harry, grab a mop.
Yeah. It's the really absurd shit that I like because it cuts the tension a little bit, makes me feel a little bit better, as opposed to the straight up just like, oh, they just killed somebody that I really really like. And this seems so final as opposed to like so final, but at least a little bit funny while you're watching it.
Right.
So I probably am more in line with the absurd.
So contrary to how I love slasher films in terms of story and atmosphere, the kills are exactly the opposite. The more absurd, the more I like them as well. Julius's head is one of the best examples. Mostly, I find that you find them mostly in the Friday the 13th movies. They have the sleeping bag,
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
right.
bending the sheriff backwards in part 6. They just Jason
like
has
the thing
the
over the
best
eyes
kills.
and the guy's eyeballs pop out through the thing. As
Yes,
he's like squeezing
right.
his head against the
Yep. And
possible.
I think he's got the best. I do. I think he has the best
could
kills
happen.
out of the three. And
Yeah.
that's probably why it's my favorite franchise over everything else, because I go for the kills and I go for the gore. And, in that aspect, that those movies do not disappoint,
Yeah.
I think. So cool. And Tiffany's kill in Bride of Chucky of the two people in the honeymoon suite. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh
We ta-
yes.
Is that the one with Red Man?
No, that's Seed of Chucky.
Okay.
Which
the
I
one
tried
with,
watching
John
again.
Ritter.
Yeah.
So much on Red.
Yeah, for Bride of Chucky as John
Katherine
Ritter.
Heigl.
Does it really?
Yeah,
I like horror movies because they put so many rappers in them.
that's true. They do.
Yeah.
It's true.
Redman, LL Cool J,
Cool J,
Busta
Busta
Rhymes.
Rhymes, fucking Rod Diggers and
Chris-
13
yeah.
Ghosts. Snoop had his own movie.
He sure did.
No, I always think Ice-T.
Wu-Tang Clan,
Ice-T's and
Scary
Ricochet.
Movie 3, and
Yeah.
And lastly, the last question I have for you guys: why do you think the genre is still so popular, and why does it keep coming back? What do you think is the reason? Besides the obvious, there's a lot of sick people like me out there. That
You know what's crazy to me?
Why does this genre?
It seems like it would be so expensive to crank out horror movies, and I think this Blumhouse has played a big part in why I am gravitating more towards horror, because they just fucking crank these movies out. They're fun, they're entertaining. Some of them are really, really smart.
Right.
And you see these movies and you're like, they make them for fucking pennies, but they look fantastic. And it seems like it wouldn't be that simple to do with horror, but it somehow it is.
Right.
You would think it would be easier to make something else, but showing kills on screen, the amount of blood, practical effects, CGI, whatever they're doing, it just works and they're fun. And there's like I said, there's an element of just like camaraderie and fun. It's like, you guys want to get together and watch a fucking romantic comedy? No, but if you're sitting around, you might watch one. Typically, it's like more so like, you guys want to see the new Friday the 13th? We're going to watch it this weekend. And you get a bunch of people together and it's fun. And you have candy, popcorn, drinks, beers, drugs, all that shit you're not supposed to be doing in the movie. You do that shit. You have sex while you're watching the movie. And it's just like a really
then your wives
good
come
time. And then your wives come in. We knew something more was happening down there. And there's just like this.
You guys are having your own sword fight.
It's so weird. It is. It's very. It's hard to explain. I think the horror genre can be so fun and can bring people together and can be really, really entertaining. And they seem like they're really easy to make, but there's some good ones out there. And there are a lot that like people will take seriously and can draw from, and I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a
and
fun
people
genre.
will, and they'll keep making them, even if the last sequel does shitty.
Right.
It may be a few years, but they're going to come back, and audiences are going to come back, and that's the genre that does it. I don't really think, with the exception of maybe the superhero genre, there's really not
Even that's
another one
kind
that
of
does that.
starting to peter out a bit.
And I feel
They
like
keep
horror
doing it,
fans
but
are a
it's not.
little, maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like horror fans are more forgiving than superhero fans are.
definitely.
Or have been of late. I don't know. I know there was a lot of hatred for the last Scream film for some
why.
reason, but I didn't think it was great, but not for any of the reasons they were talking about. I just didn't think it was that good. But if they make another one, I'm gonna be on board with seeing it.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of
So-
those like you don't fall off of the franchises typically.
Right.
Or in most
There's
cases
this like
you
loyalty.
You just
Yeah.
you look at it as, oh, all right, that
Yeah.
one was one of the weaker installments.
Yeah.
Let's see what they do next.
Not the best, but yeah, if they keep making them, I'll keep watching
Yeah.
them
Right.
for sure.
Because if they go too far off the path, then that's when people are not going to see them. So they are going to do more of the same stuff. And odds are, if they didn't get it right that time, they're going to try to do it better, but still follow that same formula the next time around. Derek.
I think just in general, people like to be scared, and it's a fun feeling. It makes you feel alive.
It's like riding roller coasters.
Right. So people are gonna kind of gravitate towards that anyway. I think with slashers in particular, I think it just feeds on the dark sides of all of us. Like there's always gonna be
agree.
a darker part inside your mind that like maybe you don't say things out loud, maybe you don't, you try not to think about them, but like every now and then you're like, oh God, I fucking want to kill that guy. Or, and these movies kind of let you, live that out vicariously, basically. I mean,
See your boss get murdered. Or
Absolutely.
some
right.
asshole
Or like a
teacher
group
or-
of annoying fucking teenagers. And
yeah.
like, if you were a kid that was picked on in high school, which I feel like a lot of horror fans are those types of those people, you want to see the jock fucking get his head cut off. Or,
The prom queen
the
get
the bitchy
electrocuted,
prom queen get, exactly.
Yeah, get her comeuppance.
So I think it's kind of like, that, kind of just feeding that dark part of our psyches that, we can't let out. We watch these things to kind of relieve the pressure of it. And, so you watch your horror movies, folks, because if you don't, if you let it all build, You're going to be the horror movie.
Cautionary tale.
Right? It's a
Well,
caution.
they're
Yeah.
cautionary tale. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to explain, but I feel better after watching a slasher film than I do watching a film where the lead character dies of cancer, or has a terminally ill disease. Like I was fine with The Exorcist, but when I saw My Life with Michael Keaton, I couldn't sleep for a week. That
Stepmom.
Exactly, that kind of stuff. In terms of endearment, no, thank you. But give me a movie where a bunch of teenagers are getting killed in outlandish and absurd ways. I can separate that and just project my, like you said, Derek, just the shit that pissed me off that day. I projected onto a slasher film, and I feel better after. It's like a release, like playing a video game or whatever. Brian,
you guys hit on a lot of the of great points, but I'm going to say that, like we said earlier, be it comfort food or junk food, like you go because you know what you're going to get. It's going to be full of either one or many of the tropes that we discussed at the very top of the show. And, love them or hate them, they're going to be in the movie, and you're going to be entertained by it.
It's like, you go to the restaurant, you want Coke, they all they have is Pepsi. You're like, fuck it, I'm having Pepsi tonight. It is what it is. Sometimes, like, the horror movie is like, people die, people have sex, people do drugs, there's a bad guy, there's a knife, he's stabbing things. The expectations are there, like Brian is saying, and sometimes they're better than other times, but oddly enough, you're expecting to be scared and surprised, but typically you're not surprised at what's happening on the screen.
Like the surprise.
But regardless, you're entertained.
The surprise of like how it's going to happen,
how and why,
potentially,
like maybe the backstory, like what are they going to throw at us, and but
yep.
But it's funny, even if you don't like it, it usually ends up getting a cult following. It comes back. Monster Squad, Halloween 3, movies that were not well received at all by people. The Thing. I mean, these are films that were just trashed, and then all of a sudden, they found an audience through video. And I just don't know of really a lot of other genres that capture that kind of mentality. Like, well, this was shit when I first saw it, but for some reason I like it now. I can't think of anything outside the genre, really, where I've been like, I used to hate this. Now it's kind of grown on me. I kind of get it. And that's not with every horror movie. There's still shit as shit for a lot of them.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, too. It seems to come in waves.
Yes.
You get your waves of your slashers. First you have, the Halloween movies with Michael Myers. And then you get...
Freddy and Jason.
Jason, and then Freddy came. Yeah. And then the Scream movies. And it like each generation has its own... slasher movies that it grabs onto, and it's just like I said, a lot of them are filled with the same stuff. You know what you're going to get. So you go into the movie, you buy your ticket, you see the show. I say, let them slash.
Any horror movie I've ever been to, I went with like 5 or 6 people.
No,
I've never been to a movie theater to see a horror movie with like me and Mary, or just one friend. It was always like 5 or 6 of us.
Same.
We're going to see whatever. I saw the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. There were like 6 of us.
Like I said, safety in numbers.
Well,
right. Scream.
And it says a lot. Like
I went in with a bunch
for
of
me
people.
and you. I mean, we both had kind of like traumatizing childhood experiences with Nightmare on Elm Street, and yet somehow, some reason, we went back. We ended up watching them eventually.
Yeah.
And
because
some people would be like, "No, I'm never fucking touching those things."
Because you're afraid, but it's a kind of fear that is tantalizing in a way, which is why you go back. You're not truly horrified. You were scared, but you were scared by spectacle. You didn't witness, an actual person getting sucked in a bed. If you did,
how do you know?
Phrasing.
Well, because you would be fucked up more than I think you would be a little more fucked up.
I don't know. I had recurring nightmares about Freddy being under my bed from the time that happened, which I was probably like 5 or 6.
Oh shit! That young?
Till
that's how old I was.
Till like
that old.
13,
Really?
14, 15. I think I was still having nightmares about Freddy Krueger.
But he's in your head, so subconsciously there's a part of you that's fascinated by it. There has to be.
Yeah.
But I never thought like you couldn't tell like, 11-year-old me, oh, dude, someday you're gonna love these
Right.
movies. You're gonna talk about them with your friends on the radio because podcasts don't exist. But like I would never think
You're
that I
doing
would ever
another
watch
show? I don't know. On the radio?
Mark, what's a
AM
radio?
or
It's like a
FM?
podcast that you can't control.
Well, you see, many years ago,
Ham radio?
we had tape recorders.
Somebody's bringing ham?
Hopping from
CB
bed
radio?
to hopping from bed to bed with the frequency of a cheap ham radio.
Did you look under the bed before going to sleep?
Oh, totally.
Oh yeah, me too.
I used
Not
to
because
sleep-
of Freddy though. I can't remember what the. Oh, you know.
Well, that's the thing. The
It
thing
was the
about
gate.
the thing about it too
Oh,
is
the
that
gate.
like my memory of it was completely off. Like I have searched for the scene that played in my head as a child.
Oh, so you had your own head
Never
canon.
had it. I always thought, like, for some reason I thought it was a couple that was in bed and that he was under the bed and like the boyfriend was asleep but she wasn't. She was awake and
It's the Amanda Weiss scene.
Yeah.
well, it
They
is.
were both in
No,
bed.
I know, but
Thrown
like,
around the
but
room.
he doesn't
Yeah.
like. I always thought like the knives came up.
Oh, I gotcha.
through the mattress, and that never happened.
Oh,
Well, no,
he's
but
just, like,
the
tossing
mattress
her
was
around
getting
the room.
clawed.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
Yeah,
was her
that's true.
nightgown.
That's
So you
true.
might
You
have.
know what you're doing? You're mixing that scene with the trailer for I think part 2 or part 3. There was a trailer with although it was coming through the floorboards. Now that I think about it, so
Coming through the floorboards.
I don't know.
That's in something. I think.
Tremors.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Tremors?
Yeah, they did come through the floorboards.
They sure did. And through
I just remember walking through the living room with Shannon Dupree, and
Oh, Shannon
and,
Dupree.
and
oh her yeah.
then it was
I know
just right perfectly that scene. That's who it was. That's who Rose was my babysitter. I spent the night.
Oh, that's just going in a whole
just
other.
awful.
Freaking you out.
Yeah,
I remember
that and Teen Wolf. The Teen Wolf
Teen
transformation. That because I got
Scared
taken.
you.
I went because I was in a theater.
Thriller used to scare me.
My sperm donor,
Thriller
my
scared
biological
me, too.
father,
Yeah.
took me to the movies to see that.
To see Teen Wolf.
And it was I
It's a
was
lighthearted
4.
film.
I was 4.
Ding, ding. No, Teen Wolf 2
And
would
it's-
have been the harder film.
They play basketball.
No, but you know what? But the effects in the bathroom when he's transforming
Great.
for the first
Is it
time,
bubbling up and
right?
stuff. Yeah.
Horrified.
Oh my god.
I'm not
That's
going to judge him. The
No,
Punky,
it's cool,
Punky
it's
Brewster
cool.
going into the cave
Oh, with
scared
the
the shit
spider-
out of me
yeah,
more than
yeah.
anything.
You never saw Michael J. Fox the same again.
No.
No.
Imagine.
No,
Imagine
watching
if you
Family
met him in
Ties,
real
and I'm
life and
like,
screamed.
no, it's that guy.
And it wasn't because he was a Republican
Justine.
either.
Michael J. Fox always looks like this guy to me.
He's a
as
werewolf.
Teen Wolf.
He totally
All right, hold on.
Justin
I'm showing you.
David.
Steve Cropper from the Blues Brothers band always looks like Michael J. Fox's makeup
Oh my god!
from
That's
Teen
Warwick.
Wolf.
It's
Yep.
true.
You're not
You
wrong.
are an animal.
What are you looking at, Dick Nose?
What do you look at? Great t-shirt.
Boof.
Great t-shirt.
Boof.
Oh, boof. You are an animal.
Cock.
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 Turch.
Church.
That's
All right, guys.
Slashers.
Awesome
Slashers.
episode. So that's slashers. That's just slashers.
That's just
Slashers,
slashers,
baby.
All right, cool
take a
discussions. What's making our geek flags fly, Tito?
I got a few quick ones. I'll go quick though.
Okay.
I saw the Three Musketeers, the French version. It's called D'Artagnan. They're
Huh.
making 2. The second part is called Milady.
This is
Three
new.
Musketeers, Milady. Yeah, it's starring Eva Green.
Oh.
Sam Cassell is in it.
Oh.
I don't know him.
And it's, it focuses
Yeah, you do.
primarily.
him.
I never read the original book, so I don't know how accurate it is. It's really fucking fun. It's in French, but it flies and it's really, really interesting and it ends crazy. And I can't wait to see the sequel. The original.
What did you see it on?
I streamed it on the internets.
Okay.
But I'm not entirely sure what it's streaming on right now. I don't even know if it's here yet. It may be though.
Have to keep an eye out for it.
D'Artagnan.
But it's called the Three Musketeers D'Artagnan, right? And it was just a lot of fun. This fucking awesome one-shot action scene where all 4 of them are fighting the Cardinals' men, and it's
It
just
sounds a lot like the one with
fucking
Michael
sick.
York. I know
Yeah.
it's the same
Right.
story, but I mean,
yeah.
I've seen
That's the one I
that
grew up
movie's
on.
awesome.
Christopher
Yeah,
Lee. Love
yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Lee's in it.
And
Oliver
Reed,
Yeah.
Oh, that guy from
Fucking-
Top Secret. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raquel Welch is Raquel Welch.
Raquel Welch plays,
Constance?
plays
Raquel.
Constance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really, really fun.
Doesn't move her
Yeah.
arms.
The second one's coming out in December. It's called Milady. But yeah, great action. It's not a ton of action, like fairly dialogue driven, but really, really good, cool story. The second thing I saw was Blue Beetle. I watched that recently. I liked it a lot. It's Iron Man though. It's an Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
It looked it.
It's very Iron Man, but fun as hell. Everybody's really good. Xolo Mati Dueña. I don't remember his last name, but he's awesome in it. Who's the stand-up comedian in it?
George Lopez.
George Lopez is fucking hysterical in this movie.
Yeah.
And what I really, really like about the movie is that his family plays a really big part in the film. And there's this scene that really kind of drives it home for him where he becomes that hero. And I like that. So
is it like Shazam? Like the original Shazam had a lot to do with like family and
more so the fact that like it deals a lot with like social issues in regards to like the Hispanic community living in like the Florida Keys is where it takes place. That's why it's all like kind of fluorescent with the lights and stuff. And then just their connection and how supportive they are of like him becoming this, hero. But it's really fun. And the Beetle is alive.
Yeah.
So he's convincing it. Oh my God, there's some really fun scenes where like the Beetle, to protect him, wants to kill things. And he's like, no, we don't kill. So they're and then it kind of flips where like the Beetle starts to grow and
get a conscience a bit.
Yeah. It's really fun. It is. I mean, it's Iron Man, but it's fun. It's a fun movie. Everybody's good in it.
Nice.
And then the last thing, I started watching Gen V. It's a fun show,
I've
man.
heard it's really good.
It's good.
Yeah, I watched the first 3 episodes. Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun. It deals, again, I think it's really, really smart. It's dealing with some social issues in regards to like superheroes and their powers, which is kind of interesting, but it's still giving you like some fucked up shit's happening in the show. It's fun. I didn't think I would like it. The tiny girl. Yeah, right. God. Cricket. I didn't think I would like it because I love The Boys. Is my favorite thing about The Boys, but this is really good, and they work in some of the other characters. But that's those 3 things are good.
Cool. I watched a couple of found footage movies that I liked. They were from the VHS series, VHS 94, and I want to be sure I get that, and VHS 99. And the new one just dropped on Shudder, VHS 87.
Who made those movies?
Off the top of my head.
It's somebody I know, I feel like, and I was like, oh, why did I never see these?
I don't know. I like them both. They were very good. I'm a fan of found footage films, and both of these movies had some really cool stories. If you don't know what the VHS series is, there's usually a wraparound story involving characters finding old tapes with crazy shit on them, and that crazy shit comes in an anthology of stories. So it's anthology, it's found footage, 2 things I really like. And if you do like the VHS series, definitely check these 2 out. These are really good. I liked the first one. VHS 2 I thought was awesome. VHS Viral was okay. These 2 were really good, and I started the one that just dropped, 87, and I have to finish it, but I'm not a big fan, so it's kind of... But these 2, definitely.
Are these more like straight to stream?
Yeah, they're Shudder, yeah.
Oh, they're
or
AMC.
The originals weren't. The original, the first 2 were in theaters.
Okay.
So that's mine.
All right.
Okay, you're up, dude.
I got a few. I'll try to be quick. I watched The Blackening finally.
What'd you think about that?
I loved it.
Yeah, it's fun.
It was.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
It's fun.
It was a little less funny than I expected, but I think it's probably because they put most of the really funny parts in the
not
trailer.
the trailer. Yeah, I hate when they do that.
And it was a little predictable, but yeah, I mean it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I hit all the right tropes and
What's it available on?
I watched it on Peacock.
Is it on Peacock?
Yes, it is on Peacock. Yes.
Oh, no,
good.
Stars.
Stars.
Oh, is it?
It was on
Stars?
Stars.
I thought it was a Peacock movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely worth a watch.
Right.
Okay.
It's worth a watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine with
I thought it was entertaining. But yeah, all the funny stuff was in the
Right.
trailers. Yeah. it was
I'm
funny.
glad I didn't buy it when it first came out because I would have spent $25 on a movie that I probably won't watch unless we were all to watch it again together.
Yeah. You save that money for movies like Hard Target is what you do.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I finally watched The Continental, the 3-part.
Is it good?
All 3. I loved it.
Yeah?
I loved it. It was.
I've heard mixed things about it, unfortunately.
I mean, it's a period piece because it's a prologue, so it takes place in the 70s. But they managed to capture like all the action that from the original movies. It's got a great ensemble. I wish there had been a little bit more of the actual world of the table, because it's not so much. It's more like how Winston became the head of the Continental.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess that's the name of the show. So, but I think there's definitely lots more to explore. Winston's in the movie, you find out that Winston, like the reason why he's so protective and close with John is because he was friends with his father. I kind of expected that to be kind of built into the show, and it wasn't. They don't touch on it, so I mean, they could do something with that. The Bowery has a queen instead of a king in this show. She's awesome, but like,
it exists.
How does Lawrence Fishburne become?
Well, he might usurp her throne.
Right. And I would love to see more characters from the movie series, like the young versions.
Show up.
I want to see the young Marcus,
John
Leguizamo. Right, Johnny Legs.
Fixing cars and shit.
Little Johnny Legs.
He stole John Wick's car, sir.
Oh, God.
He stole John Wick's skateboard.
Did you steal John Wick's car?
Winston.
Daisy. I don't get it.
I also stumbled across a TV show. It's episodic. It's called Found.
Oh, is that with Mark Paul Gosselaar? Is that the
Yes.
one with Mark Paul Gosselaar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the ad for that. That looks good.
It was awesome. I like it's without giving too much away. I mean, it sets it up for the season. It's a big plot point, but this woman runs this agency. They on the side privately will track down missing people, mostly kidnapped victims, right? But yeah, it was really good, and I'm looking forward to Thursday. Well, while we're on the train. Fall of House of Usher is dropping on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that trailer looks sick,
yeah,
man.
it's the new Mike
That
Flanagan.
looks awesome.
I wasn't sure what they were doing, but apparently, so it's the name of it is The Fall of the House of Usher. It's about the Usher twins, but the whole series incorporates a bunch of different characters and stories from Edgar Allan Poe. So
Cool.
it's all Edgar Allan Poe stuff. Which I
Friend of the show, Carla Gugino.
Oh, yeah.
She still got it.
She does.
Hell yeah.
And she's in all of his stuff.
and I
too.
love Flanagan stuff.
I hope he continues to cast her.
Yeah, I mean,
she's great.
Bly Manor and Hill House are two of my favorite things to watch.
I've never seen those.
Oh,
I saw
so
the
good.
vampire one that he
Oh,
did.
yeah,
Midnight
that was good
Mass.
too.
Midnight
Yeah.
Mass. I really like that.
Yeah.
It was good. I like the first two better. I think a lot of it has to do with the
Are they more
music,
like
but
Conjuring
the
type?
No.
they're
Series,
just
No,
No.
They're actually based on old stories.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
these are all remakes.
It's not like
what's
it's
the
not
woman's
like a
name?
Ghost House
Huh?
or anything to that.
No.
the Bly Manor is based on Turning of the Screw,
Oh, yeah.
and the Haunting Hill
Yeah,
House.
I
is,
forget the author's name. Yeah.
it's a woman.
Yeah, it is.
Can't remember her name. Fuck.
Yep.
Shirley Jackson?
She's great. She's great.
yes,
Shirley
Shirley
Jackson.
Jackson.
I love you.
Which I always thought. Shirley
I assumed they
Jackson
were
was-
like haunted house shows. So
They are.
They are.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but they're
why
not like
I
The Conjuring.
but they're not just. It's not.
Okay.
There's like
Yeah.
the stories in each of them.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and the
Yeah.
music is incredible. Like I love everything about it. I love the atmosphere. I love
Yeah.
them. So I'm really excited for this.
Nice.
Cool.
Sorry, there was a lot.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Brian, take us home.
Ahsoka wrapped up. It was phenomenal.
Ahsoka.
Nice.
You guys got to check it out, man.
Well, they're
it
all
was
out, so
really good.
I'll
Yep.
watch 'em all.
Yep.
Should I watch the
November.
other stuff first before I dive into that? Like Clone Wars
There is
or
no,
Rebels?
No, there's a lot. Just watch it.
It'll explain who these characters
It
are.
kind of does.
Okay.
Yeah. Just know that they exist. They have
And
a
they have a
story.
history.
If you want to go back and watch it after you see Ahsoka, do so. But especially with the Clone Wars, there's a lot to wade through.
Okay.
Not saying it's bad. It's just there's a lot of content.
Right.
To catch up on and then watch a show.
Right.
Right, exactly. So just watch the show. I think you'll still enjoy it.
Okay.
Just consider them to be like new characters that have other stories that you can follow later. 2 days later, after Ahsoka wrapped up, Loki season 2 dropped, and so far it's crazy, and I love it. Everybody's back.
Data's on this season, right?
Yes.
Brent
Key
Spiner?
Yes.
Bond?
No.
Data?
No,
Data from the
Data
Goonies.
from the Goonies.
Key
Oh,
Wei
Data
Kwan.
from the Goonies.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went right to Brent Spiner.
Yes, he plays a character called Ouroboros, and he steals the show.
Cool.
Yes, he's absolutely crazy. I
Good
love
for
him.
him. Good for
Love
him
him.
coming
Love him.
back.
Love him. And HBO dropped Our Flag Means Death, season 2.
saw
Dropped
that,
3
yeah.
episodes on Sunday. Unfortunately, with like no fanfare, no advertising, and no nothing. I hope they're not trying to bury this show.
Well, you know what?
I hope people watch it because it's goddamn hilarious.
The cast of that show is going to be
All
at
those
the
guys are
Comic-Con.
going to be at New York.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Not all of
With
them.
the exception of Taika.
A lot of them.
Yeah, Rhys Davies isn't going to be there.
Yeah, he is.
He is?
Yeah.
I didn't see him on the list.
No, he's on there.
Fuck me.
Yeah, he's on the main page.
He's also coming to Rhode Island, you know. I
Yes.
think he added another show at the Strand.
Stand up,
Oh,
right?
he is
Yeah.
coming.
He's
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
to the
yeah,
Strand.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
But wasn't he
Yes.
going to be, isn't he also at the Columbus?
I
He's
think
doing
it
something
was-
at the
It was
Columbus.
either the Columbus or Vets, but I think it was Columbus. He's
Yeah,
doing it
and now
one
he's
night.
going to
I
be at
love
the
the
Strand.
Vets,
He's coming
Yeah.
back. So
Nice.
so that's just me. Short and sweet. I watched a lot of TV while I was sick. So
But I'm feeling much better now.
that's it.
But you're better now, and that's making all our geek flags.
Feeling much better
They're all
now.
better. That was Brian. We can do the show again now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
God bless
you.
I probably shouldn't have licked your mic.
Oh God! Now I got it. There goes New York.
There goes the neighborhood.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. And if you want to hear me sneeze on any other episode, I don't think I ever did, so this was a first.
you
But
go.
if you do want to go back and check out past October episodes, Halloween-themed episodes, whatever, check out anything from our show, our Versus episodes, our Drink Till It's Good, our just shows where we just rave and rant and regurgitate, reincarnate, ramble, much like now. Brian, where can they go?
They can go to www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.3gdpodcast.com. And as Mark said, you'll be able to find all of our past episodes there, along with one-click buttons. If you're not already a subscriber, smash one of those shiny buttons to the podcast platform of your choice, and you will be sure to never miss an upcoming episode. Derek, we have a Ko-fi page.
We do.
Yes. What is a Ko-fi page, you may ask?
What's a Ko-fi page?
Well, a Ko-fi page is kind of like Patreon. So if you want to contribute a little bit, if you like what you listen to, and we hope you do.
I mean,
please-
if you haven't by now,
yes,
you got problems.
Exactly. We're already like 225 episodes in. What are you,
Seriously.
What are you doing? Go home.
No, don't go home. Keep listening. Jerks.
Please consider making a small donation. Our Ko-fi page is kind of like Patreon. If you want to make a small donation to help keep the show going, it will be greatly, greatly appreciated. As we always say, podcasting is not cheap. And our social media links are also there. We're on Facebook, Twitter, now X, Instagram. Our audio can be found weekly on YouTube. And I think that's pretty much it. No. Before I hand it back over to Mark, most importantly, please consider giving a 5-star rating and a review. A few kind words. It doesn't matter what you say. Say how much you love Derek. Say how cute you think Mark is. Say how handsome you think that Tito is. Tito's giving
We
me
were
the
all
eye.
thinking it.
Yep. My microphone smells funny. Say anything. It doesn't matter what you say, but if you leave a rating, it just helps push us a little further from the rest of the podcast pack because it's getting a little crowded in here, gentlemen, with similar podcasts and similar themes and similar titles. So it helps to push us a little further ahead when people are searching for us. And now I'm handing it back to Mark. But before I do, thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Tito. Thank you, John Boy.
Thank you, Mark.
Tune in
Thank
next
you, Jason.
time.
Thank you,
Thank
Freddie.
you, Jason, Freddie. Good night, Mike Myers. Good night, Pinhead.
Wherever you are.
Good night, Maniac Cop. Tom Atkins, what's taking you so long? Right back to me, man.
Get Nancy.
So until next time, when we come back with another Halloween episode for you, this is 3 Geeky Dads saying good night out there, whatever you are. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius. Oh, Brian, we're doing the Halloween intro. The Halloween 3 ripoff one. It's time, kids.
I don't have that one programmed. I'll have to look for it.
Time.
Yeah, you do.
I thought you did.
Yeah, you started playing it. Not that one.
Right.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right there.
I do have it.
Oh, good. Do you have a joke?
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, a joke? Give us a nice little horror joke.
Booyakasha.
Boom, chaka laka boom, chaka laka boom.
6 more die.
So am I doing the Halloween one instead of our regular?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Dad joke.
The first Halloween episode of the season.
Just see Adam Cole backed out.
Yeah.
What a jerk. Jim Lee better not. I'll tell you that much. If I have
way,
him
he's making
cancel
too
on me
much
now.
dough.
Yeah, he won't.
That's true.
He won't.
I won't bag.
You do the thing. You get like the print with it, right?
Yeah, we
That
got
he
a
signs?
print, and we got 3 things he'll sign for
Three
us.
things he'll
And a
sign,
photo.
You can take a photo of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I did last year.
Right. I don't know if he'll have the mask on still or not. He might.
I hope not. That shit was lame. I want to be like, dude, take your fucking mask off. But then, you feel how you feel.
Yeah.
But I got pictures the same year with like McFarlane signing shit, and he's got a mask on too.
Mm.
Jim Lee was pretty cool though. He didn't make anybody wear a mask. But Todd McFarlane's people were like, if you are not wearing a mask, he will not sign anything you have. So put a mask on.
You brought down the hammer. That's no, not hammer. Thunder. You
But
brought down the thunder.
he's a cool guy.
Cool.
I always thought he was kind of a dork, but he's actually a pretty nice guy.
Do you guys know why I like horror movies about slashers and campers?
I don't know why.
Because they're really intense.
Perfect.
Oh,
I like
that's
that
fun.
one.
That's a thinker. It's a think piece.
It's a thing. It's a clinker.
Dadgummit blob.
All right, let's do it.
Hey guys, do you know why I like movies? Why movies in general? Why do I like movies?
I do.
Yeah, I do.
They put me to sleep.
Hey guys, you know why I like horror movies that take place at camps with big slashers and campers?
No, why?
Because they're intense.
It's true. They are. They are.
So tonight, we geeky dads are going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the gory things that make up a slasher movie. Let me start that over because I can't even read my own text.
That was good though. I like that.
Thank you.
That was not. Yeah.
That's nice.
Tonight,
All right. Awesome appetizers, everybody.
Tropes.
Those are tropes.
Tropes.
Everybody ready
Am
for
I
the
right?
main course?
trope man, trope man.
The main course.
That's just tropes,
The
man.
main course.
The main course. Like sand, which is also coarse
And rough.
and
Oh,
rough.
interesting.
And it gets
Like
everywhere.
It does.
Yeah.
Just like glitter.
Not when you drive on the beach.
That's it. That's true. Oh, that is it.
Own it, Derek.
Derek, bringing it back.
He's owning it now. That's what I like to see. Fucking peons walking your shit onto the beach.
Most bullies would just kick sand on another wimpy guy.
right.
Derek revs his car and spins his tires on whole families.
One of them high class bullies in your fancy automobile.
Hold on, Mark. Before you get started, I just want to adjust something over here.
Okay. No,
Well,
you
he's
should have
reaching into
taken
his
care of that
pants.
before. So what else is new?
What happened?
Your mic. It's your mic. It's just your mic.
Almost hurt.
It's not your feelings.
Derek, because he's the problem.
No, this was from when we had Dean on, so I had to.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
split them.
And I think it's affecting the sound quality. It doesn't
Split 'em.
seem to be as loud as it normally is. Does that
Te-
sound better
test.
to you guys?
Test.
Hello,
Yep.
hello,
Hello?
hello.
Louder
Yeah.
in your headphones now?
Yeah.
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 Louder?
Better?
Louder. Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Everything's
little-
fine.
Everything's
Everything's
good.
fine. Fine here.
Yeah,
We're all fine. How are you?
Fine.
Speak, Derek.
Speak.
All right, we're good.
Sit, Ubu, sit.
Good dog. All right.
Okay.
I think we're
Are
good.
we good? Test 1, 2.
Good,
Testing
good.
1, 2.
It's good.
Test.
As good as
Hello.
we're ever gonna be. That was
What's
a fun
wrong?
episode. I listened to it.
Are we good?
The one with Dean.
Oh yeah, it
That was
was.
a fun
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
like
we're
having
good.
him
We're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Dean's good people.
Well, you should
Dean's
say
good
that
people.
because we're he's listening to us now. So Not now, but
inside
he
the
will
house?
be.
The call is coming
The
from
call is
inside
coming
the
from
house?
Inside the house.
That's a horror trope.
The dean is coming from inside the house. That's just weird. Here we go. The main course.
Main course.
Jason
Main
Michael.
corpse.
God damn
Sorry.
it, Tina.
I'm sorry. It just came to me. The main corpse.
The main corpse. Let's finally get to the main corpse. Ready?
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
The lame horse.
The lame horse. All right, shut up. Here we go. Here we go.
Bitch ass.
Bitch ass.
Bitch ass. Yeah, it's
Say it one more time.
bitch ass.
Yeah.